Hi, welcome to this new video where I'm going to give some updates about the folder structure of the project. So I'm using Vite for this project and test configurations. So here I have my package.json file that contains all my dependencies and my dev dependencies. And here is my main file that contains the connection between the DOM and the actual React component, that is the app.txt. So if I open the app.txt file, I have the main feature, that is the Google Flight component. It's been wrapped with the query client provider. The query client provider comes from Data Query. This is for API requests. So if I start up here, I have my assets. Assets folder contains all the assets I want to use in the project. Then I have the component folder. The component folder, I will say, are split into two. There's the first part, that is the UI. The UI contains all the reusable components, that is the base components of the application. And in this case, I'm using ShadCN to build the UI to go faster. So I have this UI component, which is the shared component. Then I have the feature-based component, that is the components that are being created based on these UI components. In this case, I have my flight component and the search component. So if I open the flight card, you will see that here I have my components card that comes from the UI folder actually. Same here as the search folder. Here it contains the search specific components. So if I go for then I also have this feature component. This feature the folder contains the whole feature I want to expose. In this case, the Google Flight is a big feature, so I have a feature component that contains all the business logic and the components required for the Google Flight feature. If I had other features, like for example the login or the register page, I could also add them down here. So for this case, I'm just having the Google Fly component. And you can see here that I'm importing the folders, the required components, and I'm using them down here. Then I'm having my hooks. So in this case, first of all, in this case, I'm having this default data that is going to be displayed in the search bar component. Here I have my hooks. The hooks contains the mock data for the flights. So here for this case, I'm having the mock flights. If I open the folder, the file actually, I'm going to see all the mock data containing the flights information. So while implementing this feature, I actually used mock data because the actual API required API keys and with limited numbers of requests. So while doing my test, I could not go further than 20 requests, and that kind of blocked me. So I decided to copy the sample data from the API documentation and use it here. So it's the same thing for the use airport. I'm using mock data here. So, but I also wrote the hooks that was supposed to use the real life data. But unfortunately, as I explained earlier, I could not go further because of the limited number of requests, and since I was just having an account and limited time. So I just used the mock data for this implementation. Here I have the libs folder that contains some library utilities. I have my types folder that contains the types. Then I also have my utils. Here I have my date utils functions that helps me to do some handy methods. So I also have the flights utils here that actually filter the flights, but I did not really use it finally. So basically, this is the project structure, and this is what I have here. And yes, this is it. So especially for that API, I'm very sorry because I could not use the real API because, as I explained earlier,